Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. My name is Syed Hamid. I'm the founder and CEO of Sophie. Uh, Everybody's talking about agents, so we'll talk about agents today as well and how it's influencing the app development, specifically with mobile application testing. So the question that I ask all the time after running Sophie as a no-code test automation platform, that, hey, why can't I just use the agent to test my applications? Why can't I just use prompts to test any applications that I have? An agent that can effectively use NLP to generate tests, author tests, analyze tests. We run approximately 1 million tests a month, and like literally tens and thousands of tests every day that's happening. And on average, our engineering team also spend, or our customer support team spends maybe 2 to 3 hours a day investigating tens and thousands of failures. So how those agents can actually help us identify what needs to be tested, how to go test it, and analyze failures if there are any recommendation, and be able to actually, fixing is a little bit further, for that you may need to use cursor and other tools, but in the context of test, how can we accomplish all of those things, right? And really have an assistant that can do those things for you today. So in today's presentation, I'm going to actually walk you through that how using the LLMs and our own contextual data about applications, how easy it is to go and test the product. So most of this presentation is actually going through live demo of the product, but we'll leave some 5 minutes towards the end as well for any question. So let's take as an example, I have, this is our kind of platform that people can go and use any application. We provide a device farm as well. So imagine the world that I'm testing a simple application, in this case, an Android applications, which can actually go and test for, just getting me a hotel room in wherever I'm visiting, Berlin in this case, but our device lab is in Seattle and Dallas. So let's assume I want to go and test that application for device. So once I get any device for me to go test, let's make sure that I have everything available. I have the new device available for me. And what I want to do is that I want to actually instruct the agent to go and perform the test with just very simple explanation or prompt, as you say it, right? Be able to write that prompt and be able to run that test. So in this case, I want to actually just go and use my Copilot, which is effectively an assistant for me that's constantly learning about your application, your automation, and your functional spec as well to perform those things. So as an example, I have written this prompt, which is basically, hey, create a hotel booking for a destination which is close to where I am, nearby, and then select the 29th and 30th of this month, not necessarily of next month or the following month, but the current month. It's auto adjust, and find me the hotel, order it, and select the rooms, and find a particular transactions or a particular attributes of my filtering mechanism. By doing that, what's happened is that it's actually going to take that prompt and be able to start generating the test for you. Typically, as you know, in any automation, most of the automation today is a deterministic automation. It expects certain things. If it fails, it doesn't, right? And that relates into a lot of flakiness. It will result into a lot of issues about what can or cannot work. We believe that the future is deterministic and non-deterministic. There are certain tests based on your test data, and different elements can adapt, right? Similarly, we can actually do those things in our platform here as well. So let me just go and copy this and run the test. So what we see is happening is that you can actually go and perform actions on each element and each actions on it. So let's get this running for a second once it's setting up the prompt. There's something wrong with this, so let's see. Well, whenever you're doing the demo, there's something has to go wrong. So let's see if it works this time. So what we're doing is that once it's set up, it should be able to kind of pick each screen, understand its metadata, which is effectively understanding the screenshot, understanding all the XML and UI automator and all those elements together, and then be able to understand and contextualize it how we want to go and run the test. So let's make sure that this time it works. It's quite slow. Let's see. Okay, seems to be kind of. So what it did is that it actually, when I give the message to the system, it actually got the pop-up message, the permission or not. It actually automatically detected what I need to go and perform. And you can actually now go in and change the prompt to do the destination or search. Now it actually shows up another message, what I wasn't expecting, because now I'm in a different location. So it will auto-adjust and figure it out, OK, what do I need to approve, and what are the things that I can potentially go in and verify it, right? So in this case, I give an option that, hey, go and find me the nearest location. So it knew that, hey, I have the nearest location option, so I actually picked that. Then it's actually looking at the elements of your application and try to build the whole context around what actions and what are the pieces that I should be performing and what are the things that I need to go do that. So in this case, if I go and say, hey, you can't proceed that, and then you can start looking at the various dates. So now it's actually, since my lab is in Dallas, it's actually now looking at the location, and it's looking at what actions I need to go and perform, and start looking for actions that needs to be performed on the screen, and keep building the actions that it progresses through the application. You can be very specific, or you can be very generic. The more generic you are, the more hallucinate/non-deterministic it will be. The more specific you are in terms of validation and others, you can actually go and perform that. So let's take as an example, I can stop this and cancel this, and now kind of give a more generic example for it to go and run it, or more specific one requirement to do it. So now it can go, what it can do is that it can start adapting to the things that it needs to go and perform. So you can perform actions on pretty much that you can visually see it. It's a great example to kind of validate applications where you are seeing you are running into a lot of test data, or you are running into a lot of non-deterministic things. So for example, if I come here again and I said, hey, I like this application and I want to actually go and change dates. So for example, in this case, I have an example where I'm looking at the date format for a particular thing, right? As I mentioned, is like 29 and 30th of this month. But if I want to go in and change the date format from this one to a different one, usually what happens is that people write functional spec, and they can go in and change the mechanism to build that automation and update that. What we believe is that in the agent format, you can actually, since I have seen this application already, I can actually take a functional spec, give it to the system. I said, whatever you have learned about the application, go and generate the test cases for you. So for example, I created this Confluence page, which talks about a functional requirement that any program managers write, and say, hey, go create these test cases for me. So I can take this functional spec document, and I can give it to same Sophie, and I say, go create the test cases for me. So in this case, I can just go and create the functional spec and pass it to the system. And what system is going to do is that since it's running through automation, it can look at the previously executed test that I have. It's going to look at what prompt I'm giving or new functional requirement that I have, and then it can actually give you all the requirements. Here you can see it now at the bottom that it's creating the precondition. It's also giving you, hey, Hilton applications, take the latest version, logged in, and then use the different test data. So you can actually create that and then pass the whole information to the authoring agent, which can go and execute the test for you. Similarly, you can actually, once its author is and executed, you can actually pass that to kind of execute and analyze the failure as well. So suppose I ran this test, and for some reason it fails, or I don't like this test. I want to actually create that into a called like a Python script or a Java, so that I want to just run it on my own script or my own dev machine. You can actually take the whole non-deterministic test, be able to convert that into a Java, and then be able to run it on your own example. So how can we do that? You can do the same by running the same test that I kind of created early. I can just go in and look at these tests. Let me show quickly a few runs, and then be able to see you that how you can convert that into a test. So for example, this is the test I have. I can just go and use the Copilot to start analyzing the various things for you. You can summarize results, you can see what's happening, and if it's a crash happen, you can actually use this data to analyze that, and it will analyze the stack trace and be able to create the test for you. And if you want to say, look, no, I don't like this, I want actually an interop of it, I want actually a test case to be created for you, and I can actually say create a Python script for this script for this test in Appium format, right, as an example. So what it can do is that it can do a bi-directional thing. It can take your example of taking the Appium code and creating that, or you can take the prompt and be able to convert that into automation and create that into a coded environment. So now you can see that the script is created. You can use that. You can run it at any platform of your choice. For example, if you want to go run on your local dev box or any other device farm, you can convert that into it. So we believe that the approach of having coded environment and no-code environment and agentic, they all come together as one way of kind of creating tests and be able to go do that. So now you can see that I created the test and I can perform these actions. And I can actually also go and instruct the system to analyze accessibility as well. So the agent can perform accessibility tests, agent can perform analysis, agent can also perform authoring, right? So you can see that in the same example that I kind of did in the lab here, that hey, you can actually go back here, and if you want to go create the authoring that I had it before, which is my script here, you can actually go and do the same thing here in a very detailed way. So no-code platform, coded platform, and an agentic platform, all of them can actually come together in the world where we see that the DevOps effectively becomes the same system where people can start performing those actions together. I'm going to actually try to rerun again this particular one because it keeps stopping me for some reason. But eventually, how we are seeing in our usage is that both the no-code platform and the coded platform and agentic platform all are kind of coming together as a seamless experience for you to go and do that. Unfortunately, it keeps stopping for me to do this one, so I'll skip that. The second thing I want to quickly show is that how easy it is for you to kind of also create the automation. So you have the authoring or the prompt-based testing, but you can also use, in this case, a mechanism to easily create no-code automation. So let's see that quickly here. I'll show you how the no-code is kind of feed into your prompt and training. So in this case, if I want to go and create the test and be able to search here, what I'm searching it here now, and here I'm from Seattle, so I'm going to search for Seattle and set text. And you can see I have this data available now, same dates that I want to go and perform it. And you can also perform any search that you would typically do it. As you know, in the kind of an automation platform, when you need to write the search and read the search, you have to write multiple line of code, find by element, perform different actions. It's very error prone. In this case, what we have done is that you can actually use the mechanism to kind of create a search in a no-code platform that can easily perform action for you. And under the hood, what we are doing is that we actually feed that data to our agent, so it knows, okay, for a given screen, these are all the possible actions available, so that when I give the prompt can actually start learning from those. Unfortunately, couldn't do the actual demo for that, but you can see that how we are thinking about how to kind of operate and add these things. And also, as a developers, you see that all the time that, hey, the performance is bad, I can't run it, and then you have to go back between developer and testers to figure it out, hey, what the performance degradation looks like. What we have done in the system is that that whole no-code platform also helps you understand your threshold. So you can say that, hey, my screen should not take more than 1 second. So you can define your threshold here as, hey, every step that I perform should not take more than 1 second. So the system is adaptable and be able to run all those things as you are executing the test. So now you can see I have the test automated and save. And now you can run that as part of your automation, as part of your overall CI/CD pipeline, or be able to kind of just execute here if you want to go and execute real time. So here you can see that there's the test that I just created, and I can just go and run that. So this way, the no-code and no-code data kind of feeds and trains your agent, and then you can just write the prompt to analyze it and run and execute all those things as a one seamless way. This enables you to kind of perform all those actions in a seamless way. So here you see that once it's enabled, and you can see the speed with which it's able to go and run these tests for our system. So you can see that it's done, it's executed, it validated, all those things. And if you see the results in our platform, you can see the whole results, right, as a device metric and all data that's available. So if you have set a threshold here, in this case, I have set a threshold of 1,000 milliseconds. So anything that changes, it actually identify that and run that. And we use all of these data real time to kind of train our prompt and basically agents, right, which hopefully we can show you in our booth as well. So this way, it kind of brings all the pieces together as a no-code platform, automation, accessibility, analysis, and generation of test cases through the agentic model. And we see the future is that, more and more these agents become more effective and easier. So I'll pause here for any question people may have. Okay, I think I'm right on time, I think. Yeah, 4 or 5. Thank you.